When I first started volunteering at Stanford Hospital, I was amazed at the amount of uncompensated care that we give out to the community. At this point, I think it's $60 million a year, which is just mind-boggling. We have all the modern technology that we've been able to provide for the community, and it makes Stanford Hospital stand out as a center for regional health.
I had started having complications with the pregnancy towards the end of December and into January.
Plans changed right away, and I wasn't going to be in the room. You know, they let me come in and give her a quick kiss, and that was it. But walking out, and the nurse standing outside the delivery room holding my hand because now I'm sobbing.
They prepared us for the worst with the tubes and you know, medications and you know, everything else that you could imagine that you never want to go through. And then he came out and he was perfect. And you guys made this possible.
The doctors and the nurses up there in the NICU, you really felt like you were talking to a family member versus just somebody that was getting paid to be there.
I was checked into the hospital through the emergency room. Then it became very obvious that I would have to have bypass surgery. The obvious answer always is, well, for a serious operation, you have to go to New York. But I made the decision that I was going to have this done at Stanford Hospital. The cardiac floor at Stanford Hospital had the most excellent staff of nurses. As far as aftercare is concerned, the convenience of having the Tully cardiac rehab program right here was also important. If I had to have an experience like I did, I was very glad I made the decision to stay at Stanford Hospital.
My brother was home and he was suffering from severe headaches. They thought maybe it was bacterial meningitis, which unfortunately it was. He was given his last rites. The doctors said in most of these situations it can be fatal. With the support of the ICU unit's team of nurses and doctors that stayed by our side and gave us positive hope, it was a small miracle, is what my mother calls it, that he came out of this alive. Sitting in an intensive care unit with your family and not knowing what the results of someone's life, who's a family member to you, is very emotional. And to be at a hospital where not only is it the nurses or the doctors, a sense that they were on our side, they were just as concerned for my brother to get through this, they were making us feel like they were part of our family. And that's what you need at that moment, because you are so desperate for any answer you can get. And sometimes that answer, it may not be a medical answer, it may be a pat on the shoulder, it may be a hug, it may just be a kind word. And that's what I think Stanford Hospital brought to us and to my family, and we are so grateful for that.
My dad was in Stanford Hospital, and we knew Dad was very, very ill, and we would probably lose him before the holiday. We received a phone call, and it was my dad's nurse, who I had come to know very well. And she told me that my dad had passed, and I was so distraught because I wasn't there. But before I could say a word, she said, "Oh, but Carol, don't worry. I noticed that his breathing had changed, and I didn't leave him. I held his hand and I sang him Christmas songs." He passed away very peacefully, and I was there the whole time. Those are the kinds of people that we need to continue to find, to be working at our hospital, to take care of our very special needs.